Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing out there? Scarpat from Scarpat's Comic Treks coming at you today. A little live stream on Tuesday afternoon. And if you read the title of the video, I'm going to be discussing brand new, just got in today from Paramount, the 4K box set of the first 4 Star Trek movies. Star Trek, the original 4-movie collection. Now, this is the first time that we're seeing Star Trek movies on 4K. Not the first time they've been in 4K, but the first time they've been in physical media. Previous to this, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan was on some of the streaming services and on iTunes in 4K. Now, I don't think this is the same master of it. I think it's been remastered, all 4 films, and we'll touch on that. But first, before we do, we'll see if anybody else comes in here. If anybody wants to jump into the chat, say hello, and we'll talk to some people about it, whether they're going to get this release or not. But let's have a look at the release. So this is the box set. Comes with the 4K discs, the Blu-rays, and a digital certificate for the digital copy. Cardboard box. And here's a look at the back. And it's not a bad box set. This is currently running anywhere from around $70-75. So you're probably talking, and I'm sure this will drop. So you're probably talking, what, 4 films, $20 a film, a little bit under $20 a film, maybe $18 a film. Not too bad, even if you own the previous sets. And of course, it does come with the Blu-rays. Now, I kind of wish they might. I guess it's nice to have the Blu-rays, but I wish I could get a lower price alternative to this if I'm just looking to the 4K sets. Because I already had the Blu-rays on this. I own the 10-disc box set, which is still out there. I think it's called the Stardate Collection, where you get all 10 movies in a box set, and you can get that probably for around $25-30. And if you're just looking for Blu-rays, I think that's probably the way to go. Now, let's look at the inside here. So the Blu-rays themselves are in their own holder, and that's the cover. The cover art's kind of interesting, showing the characters in different versions of the costumes from the various movies. The box is just a listing of what's on the box for the movies: Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, and Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. And if you look inside, just the discs. Now, I don't think these are the remastered. I think these are the same. And I'll come back and leave something in. If I find out these are, I'll leave something in the comments. But I don't think these have been remastered. I think these may be the same versions that you've seen on the Blu-ray before. What's currently out there, just been re-released. Now both the Wrath of Khan, both the director's cut and the theatrical version is on this disc, so you get that as well. But as I said, I only own these, so I kind of wish there was a cheaper alternative where I could have gotten it with the 4Ks without this and paid even less, and that would have been pretty good. So now let's look at the Blu-ray, 4K Blu-rays. So obviously in the black box, because that's how the 4K Ultra Blu-rays come. Same artwork, pretty much the same back, except here it lists the digital movie. If you look inside, as I said, you do get the digital certificate and just the discs. And the discs, other than the commentaries for these movies, only contain the movies themselves. So you don't get the special features in 4K. That's on the Blu-ray disc. And Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, both the director's cut and the theatrical are on the same disc in both the Blu-ray and the 4K. So I guess let's talk about what everybody's probably wondering that's going to watch this video. Well, how are these? How do they look? Let me just preface this by saying I have pretty good stuff. I have a Panasonic 800 upscaling 4K Blu-ray player, and for a television, I have a 77-inch LG OLED set. So this, 4K discs usually, especially stuff that's in Dolby Vision, especially in an HDR, really, the big difference in when you go to 4K is not only the resolution, the clarity, but usually that Dolby Vision will give you really, really good inky blacks and really good popping reds without having a lot of the red bleed through. All these discs are encoded in Dolby Vision for the video and Dolby 7.1 True HD for the audio. So no Dolby Atmos here. A little disappointing. Would have been nice to get the Dolby Atmos, but 7.1 True HD. These sound pretty good. I do note though that for some reason, and maybe this is always the case, the Blu-rays seem to be recorded with the volume louder than the 4K discs, as I had to turn the 4K discs up a little bit to get about the same amount of volume out of these. Now, how do these look? Kind of disappointing. The reviews, I haven't read any other reviews. I've listened to a couple people who were disappointed in the 4K version of the first movie, the motion picture. And I will say, these are a marginal upgrade, I think, at best, to the Blu-ray. I think what you're getting here that's going to make these a little bit better would be the Dolby Vision. So you get a little bit better blacks, and you get a little bit better reds without the bleed through. When you're looking at, say, the opening scenes of Star Trek The Motion Picture, where you have the Klingon battle cruise and that's bathed in red, the clarity on the Klingons' faces are a lot better than they are on the Blu-ray. Now, for some reason, Paramount discs, I don't know what it is about Paramount movies, they always seem to be transcoded a little bit on the dark side. And that would be kind of true here. These are a little bit darker than I think I allowed this. And the Blu-rays more than the 4K HDs, Ultra HDs, I noticed are that way. But some of the scenes like on Vulcan, where you get those reds, you get a lot better popping reds on the 4K than you do on the Blu-ray. Once again, that could be also because these have been remastered, maybe the Blu-rays weren't. There seems to be in the motion picture a very kind of like a blue tinge added onto the motion picture. And it was there, it's been there in all the versions of these movies, and it seems to be there even in the 4K. It's like it's got a blue tinge to it. So, as I said, marginal at best. If you have a decent 4K upscaling player and you have a decent, 4K television, and maybe don't own it, and you maybe have the Blu-rays, you have the older versions of the Blu-rays, this is an upgrade. But I would seriously wait for a price drop on these. If you can get them at $50 or below, I don't know if I'd pay much more than that. And Star Trek 2, 3, and 4, same thing. I compared them with the Blu-rays. Kind of marginal update. The clarity's better. The reds are better. The black's a little bit better. And just that in itself, makes it worthwhile when you're watching these on a really big 4K, either projector or TV. Now, these movies, except for Star Trek The Motion Picture, were never really filmed with huge budgets. The first one was, and of course it wasn't a great hit until later on, although I think I love the first movie. I think it's the most theatrical of all the movies. But 2, 3, and 4 were all filmed on TV budgets using TV sound stages. I know they redressed a lot of the bridges from the Next Generation sets. and they were filmed with a lower budget, so they don't have a great look even theatrically. The uniforms are kind of dull and drab. Everything's kind of muted in these movies. I would say 4 might be an exception when you go to Earth and you go down, they beam down to Earth in the 80s. Then you get a little bit better color saturation. But everything is kind of muted. The reds don't really pop in the uniforms. And then, you got a lot of scenes in these movies, like on Wrath of Khan, on Ceti Alpha with the dust, and then on the Genesis planet with the snow, where you got a lot of video noise because of that. Much less noticeable in the 4K than it is in the Blu-ray. So as I said, would I recommend these? Yeah, if you can get them at a reduced price, I would recommend them. If you don't have the 4Ks, or the Blu-rays, I would recommend them. If all you have is the DVDs and you're upgrading, I would definitely get this set over the other ones. I would have wished they took a little more time to remaster these. These are put out for the 55th anniversary, but they were kind of thrown out there. They weren't really, I don't think, remastered with a lot of love and attention. Now, the word is that they are currently in the process of remastering the director's cut Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which is a much, much better version of the first movie. And it's only available on DVD because a lot of the special effects were only in standard definition, and now they have to spend some money to clean that up, upscale them or redo them, and then clean up. So hopefully, maybe they'll put a little extra money in that, and that'll be a better version of that movie. So they decided to release these piecemeal. Maybe they can look at some of the people talking about this one and maybe spend a little bit more money, and if they haven't remastered the other films, maybe work on them a little bit more. I don't know what their plans are going to be for the other versions. They do 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10 because you got kind of an odd amount. And 5, 6, 7 kind of finishes up the original crew's stories and then segues into the next generation. So we'll see what happens, or if they're even, maybe these won't sell, they won't even bring out the other ones. Who knows? But they're making a big deal on premiering these on Paramount Plus, so I think they inevitably will put these out in 4K. So that's really my review on Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the 4K Ultra HD version box set. Little disappointed, but glad to have these on 4K anyways. And if you can pick these up in the future at a reduced price, then by all means, go ahead and pick them up. So this is Scarpad for Scarpad's Comic Treks, bringing you another 4K Blu-ray review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like these videos I bring you from time to time. Soon I'll be looking at the next Wave Amigo, doing here any day now. We'll be looking at those figures, and among them are some Star Trek figures. So, keep on trekking, and we'll catch you down the line. Peace.